7:00 p.m. Before we stand, I believe the mayor has a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you all know, we suffered a great loss in law enforcement last Wednesday when 3 officers were killed in northern York County. 2 other officers of that same department were wounded. They're still in critical condition. And I would wish that we would take a moment as we pledge allegiance and a moment of silence to dedicate our thoughts to family, friends, and relatives and other law enforcement agencies across the United States and wish them well as they move forward in their daily jobs. And one of the officers killed also hits very close to home here in the borough. Detective Sergeant Cody Becker was a graduate of Millersville University, and we wish all the best for his family dealing with this tragedy right now, and all the other officers as well carrying the burden of losing 3 officers from their department. So please stand with me and honor these gentlemen and all other officers of the United States.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. And thank you for those words, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much for your time.
I am certain the entire council echoes that sentiment. At this time, we will consider approval of the minutes for our council meeting held on September 9th, 2025. I will move that we approve those minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very good, thank you. Any comments or revisions required on those meetings from council? Very well. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Very well, then the motion will carry. At this time, council will hear any comments, requests, or concerns from the public about matters on the agenda or other matters. You will have 5 minutes to speak. We ask that you come to the microphone or ask the microphone be brought to you. And please do also give your name and a general address for the record. Would anybody like to address council at this time? Very well. With no one stepping forward, we will move on. All right. With our normal reporter, Linda, out for the evening, we will move on to the Blue Rock Regional Fire Commission in our consideration and approval of the 2026 budget. I do understand, Dwayne, would you like to say anything on behalf of Blue Rock?
Sure. Sorry, somebody was interrupting me and talking to me while you're talking.
He's always rude like that, it's fine.
I don't ask for more money, more. So my budget, our budget for Blue Rock just doubled, according to Victor, so, no, actually, in all seriousness, appreciate it. Just wanted to come out tonight. Our bottom line for our budget is pretty simple. Our budget's gonna be flat this year. We're struggling this year a little bit with some of the expenses, but we're able to shift things around in different line items. Obviously, as I was here before, the big thing for us is starting to really raise funds for the new building, so we're working on that.
Did you ever get that $5 million donation?
I didn't yet. I bet your check went to the wrong place.
Probably did.
But I will say that in the upcoming weeks, we're working with some of our state reps on some plans there also. So I'll probably be coming back to council sometime in the future, asking for your support just to, get our state representatives from both the borough and the township on board with that. But on all, the budget it's flat this year, and in 15 years we've only had one increase. That was last year, but moving forward it's getting a lot more challenging. Things just are, as you're well aware, out of control. But I'll take questions if you have any.
Understood. Any questions on this budget? Council has been provided a copy. Does anybody have any questions for Dwayne while we have him? All right. If not, we'll be moving on to a vote. Very well. Thank you, Dwayne. We appreciate it. All right. Then at this time, I will make a motion to approve the Blue Rock Regional Fire Commission adopted budget for the 2026 budget year as presented. Do I have a second? Very good, thank you. And there are no further discussion from council, I presume? A lot of shaking heads, very good. In that case, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion then will carry. Civil service. Yeah, do we have anybody that can report for civil service? Do you have?
The
any?
report, okay.
Oh, okay, very good. Do you want to come up to the mic for me, sir? Your name as well, please, if you don't mind.
My name's Ken Eckert. I'm on the Civil Service Board. Just to give you guys an update and ask for some things for you. There's only one applicant left from our current eligibility list. His name is Michael Ebersol. Ebersol. Per the Civil Service Board rules and regulations, since this application is the only person on the hiring list and has completed everything up until this point, he is now eligible for conditional offering, or a conditional hiring offer. And we asked that the borough approve this conditional hiring offer, and since the list is cleared with the conditional offer, and there is still one spot left, we also asked the council to open back up our hiring process again with a new list.
Stand by for me just one moment here.
No worries.
There you go.
Yeah, anything, I can do it.
Yeah, name of that applicant again, please.
Michael Ebersol.
You're giving me a look.
Oh, no, I didn't have this ahead of time, so I'm sorry, it's not
I
on the
know,
list.
it's quite all right. I'm
didn't have-
building it on the fly.
Yeah.
All right. And your ask is that we approve a conditional offer of employment?
Yes, because he did, as far as our rules and regulations go, because he's the last person.
Right.
He's the last applicant, there's no need for any kind of list ranking or anything, and he has completed everything up to our rules and regulations that say we can offer him a conditional hire as long as he passes the physical and psychological. But he's at that point where we can do that, and therefore that would clear our list, and therefore allows us to reopen hiring for the last spot.
Right. In that case, I will make a motion that we approve a conditional offer of employment to Michael Ebersol, pending those evaluations. Do I have a second? Mike? Very good. Discussion or questions while we have Ken here? No? Very good. In that case, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion will carry.
And then reopen the hiring.
We need to reopen.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Doing
Yeah.
due diligence.
That's fine. No, that I will need you to repeat. You need me to reopen.
So there's still one spot left that the police need to fill.
Two vacancies.
There
and
was
we
two
only have one
vacancies, but we
remaining.
only have one applicant, so since this clears that list, we can now ask council, as per our regulations, to open back up eligibility, start advertising and doing those things again.
All right, very good. In that case, I will propose a motion that we reopen the hiring list,
Hiring process.
hiring process,
Advertise.
re-advertise. Do we have the wording well enough over there? All right, good enough. Can I get, normally this is all written down for me, folks, I'm so sorry. Can I get a second?
Second.
Very good, thank you. All those in, I'm sorry, discussion or questions on that? Very good, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion will then carry.
Thank you guys very much.
No problem at all, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coaching me through some of those. All right, moving on to council committee items for action. We'll start with Finance Advisory Committee. In this case, we just have review and approval of August financial reports. So I will make a motion to accept the August financial report and authorize staff to satisfy the ordinary and routine obligations incurred by the borough for this month. Do I have a, or I'm sorry, this is out of committee, so it does not require a second, but does anybody from council have questions or concerns about the August financial report? Very well, seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion will carry. I don't believe we have any items for personnel. And coming out of Public Works, Public Works discussed approval of referral application to the Lancaster County Vacant Property Reinvestment Program for 109 Circle Road. I believe that came out of committee as well.
It did come out of committee, so I would like to make the motion to authorize the borough manager to submit a referral application to the Lancaster County Vacancy Property Reinvestment Program for the property located at 109 Circle Road. It does not require a second.
But as far as discussion, we do have
Yes.
other addresses we're considering for this, just not at this time?
That is correct.
Okay. That's all from me then, if you want to call the vote.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? And the motion is carried.
All right. Well, we're flying through here, folks.
Good.
All right, at this time, we're looking at approval of the 2026 to 2030 contract between Millersville Borough and the Millersville Borough Police Association. Just a quick word on that. I believe the process went very well. Our dealings with the members of the union were very fruitful. Had a couple of long days, but they were all productive. Special thanks to Rebecca for quarterbacking those, for Mike, and I know Marianne is absent, but her attendance and expertise there was welcome as well. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the 2026 through 2030 contract with the Millersville Police Association for police services to the borough. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I know we had a long executive about this. Does anybody have any further questions or discussion before we move to a vote? Very well. In that case, all of those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? That motion then will carry. And Mr. Mayor, if you would like to take it away.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of things. From our last meeting, we talked about bicycles and e-bikes and scooters. We did have a Lancaster County Mayor's Association meeting. We was briefly discussed, and I believe it's E-Town Borough is drafting an ordinance that they will share once they get it done. So stand by for the wording on that when it comes out. But a lot of boroughs are having problems with the e-bikes everywhere, and unfortunately, a lot of accidents being caused by those e-bikes.
Any early word, insider information you have on what that ordinance looks like?
The person from E-Town Borough unfortunately was not at that meeting, but we do know that they're working with their solicitor on that ordinance. So, and the person who brought it up said that when it is to the point where it's been approved, they will definitely share with all the rest of the borough mayors.
Excellent. I'm always glad to share information.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when that comes out, I will make sure that it gets brought before council, and we can have our solicitor look at it as well, see if it's something we can put forth here in the borough.
Very good. Looking forward to it.
Also attended the Laxwama breakfast a couple days after our last meeting, and as of right now, they're doing very well. The Fry Farm landfill is at a point where they can still use that for about 10 more years. So they are looking to much further in the future. They've also used the Crestwell landfill in the past. So they're also looking at Crestwell to see if there's an opportunity for them to expand that like they did the Fry Farm. So a lot of things in the air, but they're doing some great work over several counties.
Good.
And again, as I said earlier in the meeting, just keep our thoughts and prayers with not only Northern York Borough, our regional police department, but every police department, including our own and our officers who dedicate their lives to protect our citizens. So at this point, I'll turn it over to the chief to discuss last month's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Give you the rundown for the police department activities for the month of August. We handled 355 calls for service. 6 were ordinance complaints that resulted in 2 ordinance citations. We issued 2 disruptive conduct reports. We made 3 criminal arrests. All 3 were adult. We had 3 Part 1 offenses, and all 3 of those were cleared for 100% clearance. We had 23 Part 2 offenses, and we also cleared all 23 of those for 100% clearance. The officers issued a total of 35 traffic violations, 9 for speeding, 26 other traffic violations. They handled 6 vehicle accidents, issued 62 parking tickets, patrolled just over 3,400 miles total. And for the detective overview of additional serious cases that we took on, we did take 2 additional cases, another sex offense case, and another fraud. And that's it.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And I just want to thank council again for approving the conditional offer for this officer, get him on board, get him trained, and for allowing us to advertise, get these positions filled.
Yeah, a little bit of an audible, but we're happy to do it. At this time, we will turn our attention to Ms. Norman for our Millersville University report.
Hello everyone, thanks for letting me be here today. We kind of have a long-ish report, so I'm just going to get started. 12 alumni were named Marvelous Marauders. This award is given to those who stay engaged with MU since graduation. The names of those alumni are Sierra McNeil, Aaron Baker, Dr. Brandon Dans, Sunflower Sunny Green, Jason Heisey, Doug Johnson, Dr. Donald Kilhefner, Dr. Gregory Coons, Mike Panarella, Dr. Amber Sessoms, Jeremy Young, and Andrew Zavorsky. Millersville University was recognized for inclusive excellence. Millersville University was the 2025 Higher Education Excellence and Distinction Award winner received that award from Insight into Academia magazine. 2025 is the 14th consecutive year that we've won this award. Millersville University will be among the first colleges in Pennsylvania to offer a new AI endorsement for K-12 educators. This endorsement may be completed within 7 months at Millersville, with courses offered online and asynchronously. The 14th Breast of Ville will be held at the Student Memorial Center on October 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And the theme is based on the new Wicked movie. Yay. Anyway, as a reminder, Millersville University Homecoming will take place on October 3rd and 4th. The theme is Magic of Music. Parade entry, volunteer sign-up, and vendor registration are open. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference continues its 75th anniversary celebration, recognizing its 75 greatest female athletes. Out of those 75 women, 5 were Millersville University alumni. Those people are Linda Kreiser, Cherry McGlan Billis, Rachel Dickinson Latham, Sunflower Green, and Hannah Wolfling. Catherine Sammer, a junior double majoring in psychology and special education and a member of the Honors College, was named a Newman Civic Fellow. Millersville University professor Dr. Robert Bookmiller, or as the students call him, Dr. Mr. Bookmiller, because there's 2 Bookmillers. He was named a 2025-2026 Council on Foreign Relations Education Ambassador, and Millersville University's theater program announced their 2025-2026 season, which includes the shows The Laramie project in fall 2025, and The Good Doctor, which is not based, it's not the TV show, it's different, in spring 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Norman. Dr. DeSantis, anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing real quick, because I always like to make sure I thank people that are doing a great job. And I wanted to say that last week we had our parade logistics luncheon meeting, and I wanted to make sure that I personally thanked the chief and the patrol officers that are going to be helping out on parade day. The chief was there at that luncheon. I wanted to make sure I thanked the Blue Rock folks, because they're going to be providing a lot of help for us that day, particularly with public safety. And so I would thank Dwayne, but the long-haired freak left the building. I would also say that, I'm sorry.
You know how we feel about long-haired freaks around here.
Dwayne's a little unkempt these days. But I also want to make sure I thank the roads team and the street team, because your public works team does yeoman's work that day, and they are to be commended for their work. They were all there, and I think we got a great plan for the day. Obviously, public safety is most important to us, and so having all these folks around the table talking about the safety and security of the event is of utmost importance to all of us. So thank you, and thank you all, because I know that many of you are going to participate as well. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. DeSantis. I don't believe we have a Penn Manor report, so we will move on.
Yeah, we should have, next month should be one of the returning students from last year from Penn Manor, and then they are identifying an additional student to be joining for the rest of the year.
Are we getting the good one or the bad one? I'm trapping you, it's fine. You can let us know in your report. There you go.
One question for Ms. Norman.
Oh.
Do you have a date on the Good Doctor to play?
No, that is in,
Is that the spring?
yeah, that's the spring, and I do not have
Oh,
that
it
with
doesn't matter,
me.
but I just want to make sure it's not a fall play. 'Cause
Yeah, no,
I see these in the paper the weekend after they're in the theater, and I want to catch these things. It's
I have
a
the,
short walk to the theater here.
I have the dates for the fall 2020, if that's what you're looking, if you want that.
What's that one?
So the show dates for the fall 2025 show are October 30th, 31st, November 1st, 6th, and 7th, and 8th at 7 p.m. And also November 2nd, it's a 2 p.m. matinee.
Okay, thanks.
Rebecca, you can take it away now. I promise.
Just a few things I wanted to update on first before I jump into my items. We had a absolutely fantastic Saturday in the park this past weekend. We had over 400 people in the park. It was a lot of fun. We had some additional vendors this year. There was someone putting sparkles in her hair. It was really cool. And it was just a fantastic day overall. So we're really, really happy with how Saturday in the Park went this year. I also wanted to let council know that we had also some students from the university here on the Saturday before that for their Day of Caring. They came out. We had a wonderful group of students from a class from a freshman class that came and did some volunteering down at the park, some pulling of weeds, some helping us get ready for Saturday in the Park. So we're super appreciative of the students who come and join on MU Day of Caring. Okay, so the first item I have on here is the approval of a request for an escrow reduction for the Bellwright Cross Gates Phase 2 project in the amount of $118,310.50. In your backup was the recommendation from our engineer and their site observation report. This is the Murray Development Corporation project. If you are familiar with Cross Gates, while Phase 2 is the last one, there is a third phase, but that one's already finished. This is our Phase 2, or their Phase 2 project, finishing up those last homes there at the north part of the development. So they submitted an escrow reduction request for the work that they believe had been completed thus far. After our engineer did their site observation, they provided us what they believe to be the work that's done so far. And we believe that to be the $118,310.50 that can be brought down from the escrow, leaving with a total of $590,878.43 left in escrow on this project.
And just to be clear, because I want to make sure that I understood you correctly, our engineer concurs with their evaluation of the work that needs to be done yet.
So actually, and this is a good moment for explanation. So what typically happens is the developer submits to us a reduction request with what they believe is what they've completed for the project thus far. So they send over basically their scope of work and what percentage has been completed thus far. And then our engineer actually goes out, takes a look at the project and compares it to what he's actually visually seeing as terms of the work being done. Unfortunately, there were a number of issues that were found at the site itself. So what they actually requested was much higher than this number. So our engineer believes that they've only finished 118,000 of the work since the last time they did an escrow reduction.
Which answers my follow-up question, whose estimate are we following in this reduction? It is our engineers.
Yes,
Very
yes.
good.
The only thing that I would bring forward to council is what our engineer confirms. We don't necessarily, we trust but verify.
Yeah, very good. Other questions for Rebecca on this? That's about it for me. Very good. In that case, I will make a motion to authorize a reduction of escrow held for the Belleride at Cross Gates Phase 2 project in the amount of $118,310.50, bringing the total escrow still held on the project to $590,878.43. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very good. Further discussion or questions from council before moving to a vote? Very good. In that case, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion will carry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so the next item to discuss is not a super pleasant topic to discuss, but one we must. This is approval of, or an approval to execute a settlement agreement with the PA Fish and Boat Commission. As you all are probably familiar with, on March 15th of this year, the borough experienced a waste-activated sludge incident that we reported to council at that subsequent meeting at our wastewater treatment plant. It dealt with our aerobic digesters exceeding capacity and overflowing, with some of that sludge running into the river. DEP, our Department of Environmental Protection, and the Fish and Boat Commission were both notified, as is required. The incident was a result of us installing a new SBR control panel that we were working with a contractor to install the week prior. And unfortunately, one of the new panels failed to close one of those valves that would have prevented that spill. And because there was an alarm issue not happening, the alarm did not go off. So that's why it wasn't discovered until after the incident had already occurred. The good news was that within a week, the contractor was back on site, fixed the issue, and we have not had any issues with it since. The borough was just made aware that the PA Fish and Boat Commission was issuing a fine for this pollution event to the borough. We received notice of that last week, and that letter was in your backup documents. The borough is being fined $5,300. We had a meeting this past Friday with Officer Schmidt from the PA Fish and Boat Commission, the one issuing this fine. We were told that $300 covers administrative costs, and the $5,000 is the amount for a severe pollution event. And I will note that this is even though there's no actual evidence of any fish kill or anything like that. They issue a fine whether or not there has been any evidence of an actual issue occurring. We've been provided with the settlement agreement to sign in order to basically prevent this from going to court and it becoming a criminal matter, essentially. Our solicitor is reviewing it, so I'm waiting to hear back from her to make sure all is good with this settlement agreement. But if council would like to move forward with the settlement agreement, the motion this evening would be to execute, or to authorize me to execute the agreement upon the final review of the solicitor, in case there's any language that needs to be changed.
In the intervening 6 months, we have talked about this a little bit less and less, but are we now certain that the panel is set up in such a way that this incident will not, or something like this will not repeat again?
Yes, the good news is we spent about a month-ish sort of really making sure that this was not going to happen by doing additional checks and making sure that we were not going to have another issue. And so far, there have been no other incidents involved with the new panel.
Do you know, Rebecca, if the $5,000 figure is a typical amount that they assess, like a borough, if, depending upon what the problem is? I mean, there was no fish kill or anything, so,
We tried to ask some additional questions along those lines to the officer when we had the meeting with them this past week. What we were told is that this is the amount that's issued for a severe pollution event, and that's based on what we reported as the number of gallons we believe went into the river. So it's by our own self-reporting that they then consider it a severe pollution event. We do not know exactly how that part is calculated. We just know that based on the size, that's the fine that we're given.
As loath as I am to release $5,000 as we begin our budget discussions for next year, or continue our budget discussions for next year, I can sympathize with the penalty being assessed, whether there was measurable harm or not. This was a mistake on our part, or a failure on our part, and those kinds of penalties are required.
So, was it a mistake on our part, or was it the failure of the contractor to do the job correctly?
yes, I was wondering.
My part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm responsible for that. So irregardless of whose fault I think it is, I am ultimately responsible for that.
Ultimately, I think when new technology is being installed, there is a chance of failure. And when Les's team left that Friday and when the contractor left that Friday, everybody was very confident that all was set up properly. Technology can fail us at times, so we don't think it's necessarily on the part of the contractor. And while Les is being very kind as to saying that, it's really, I don't think we can put it on a person or even the team. I think it truly came down to a faulty technology failure that we don't know why it happened, but we know that it's resolved.
Yeah, Les,
Stay out of court.
I appreciate you
Let's stay out of
saying,
court. That's what
You
I'm trying
got
to tell
it.
you that, yeah.
I appreciate you saying that the buck stops with you. I think realistically, this is probably a shared thing, or something that we can't reliably pin on the contractor, so it's gonna have to come out of our pockets. So with that in mind, I will, yep, I'm on the wrong page. Make a motion to accept, nope, that is wrong too, apologies. Yep, I'll make a motion to authorize the execution of the settlement agreement for pollution of waterways with the PA Fish and Boat Commission upon final review of the solicitor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very good, and just, this is probably a pedantic question, but why is Fish and Boat assessing this penalty and not DEP themselves?
DEP did not opt to fine us anything.
Yeah, I thought that might be the answer, that's frustrating.
They were out multiple times as well,
know.
and we submitted a report to them. We did not receive any fine or penalty from DEP.
And I am sure they are very grateful that we self-reported and the whole bit, and that's great. I'm not super
Yeah,
happy
apparently we
with
don't get any credit for doing the right thing.
Well,
We got some.
we did, but it did change the bond.
Yeah.
They said we handled it exceptionally well, but
Well, and
always a
Here's your
but.
It doesn't reduce the number.
the other thing I want to mention here, and I know it's about money, but I had two quotes on this job. The original manufacturer quote was, Systems 21 came in 19,000 less than what the original manufacturer charges. Even with the $5,000 fine, which
Still
I think
less.
is, I won't say what I think. But,
your tone speaks
we're
volumes.
still 14,000 less than what the next bidder was on this job. Unfortunate what happened, believe me, nobody
Yeah.
wanted that to happen. But what I'm trying to tell you is, even though we have this fine, we still save $14,000 from the other bidder doing the work.
And as painful as paying 5,000 is, I don't want that to change the culture that we have in place that encourages this kind of reporting when we are in the wrong like that. So
Absolutely.
I honestly think kudos all around, even if this is going to be coming out of pocket. But on the actual motion on the table, does anybody have any other questions or points of discussion? Very well, then all those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? And that motion will carry.
Thank you. The last item I have is a discussion of our IT contract renewal with Citium Solutions for a 3-year contract for the rest of this year through 2028. It just is the way that it happens that our IT contract is in October to October, so it doesn't necessarily fall perfectly with the budget year. But what I included in the backup was the pricing that we're looking at for the next 3 years, as well as what would be our master services agreement and our scope of work. In general, the borough continues to be very pleased with our IT servicer. Citium is quick to respond, generally very knowledgeable, checking in with me constantly, which I greatly appreciate. And as soon as they notice something going on when they're monitoring from their office, they're quick to communicate. What we're looking at right now is, as everything else is, an increase, because we're getting hit with increases across the board.
I already don't like signing these checks.
I know. Yes, that is a big one for us. So our current 3-year contract ends at the end of October. We are going to recommend, or the staff's recommending to council, the renewal of an additional 3-year contract. One, because it certainly locks in a lower price. And 2 is because we really have not had any major complaints with Citium. And certainly talking with all of our departments as well, generally we get great service. And the other thing that has to do with the increase is that what I would recommend to council when you look at the pricing breakdowns is that right now we're at the silver plan. Looking at everything, looking at the amount of labor that we use and looking at our cybersecurity risks, it makes the most sense for us to move to the gold package. 1, because all of the packages are going up, but 2 is because this next package includes a number of additional cybersecurity features that we don't currently have, and as a local government, I certainly don't have to tell everybody here that our risk is generally higher because we're a public entity. People want to mess with us a little bit more than the other guys. So that's why we're generally recommending the gold package. It also, it includes some of the things that we're already paying for as a separate piece. Like right now, the know before cybersecurity training and monitoring that we added on this year would be lumped into that. We wouldn't have to pay separate for that anymore. And the gold package also is a higher discount on the labor hours, which is the biggest cost to the borough when we have an IT issue and we need to reach out. There are some things that are just included in our package that when we reach out, they don't charge us for, but there are some things that we do get labor charges for, and that does tend to be our biggest hit when it comes to the actual bottom line number. So with knowing what our labor numbers generally are, getting a higher discount on that would be better. And I included in the backup here some calculations on sort of what we're looking at, because in the last 12 months, the borough admin side, so including street and sewer departments, spent about $14,000 or so on all of our IT, our support, our software, hardware, monitoring, and all of that. Police department spent about $25,000. With this increase, we would expect to spend about $18,000 on the admin side, including street and sewer, and then about $28,000 and some change on the police side. So basically about a $3,000 increase on each side is what I'm projecting. So I've incorporated that into what would be our proposed budget, but I'm thinking that this is our most cost-effective option to increase our cybersecurity package while keeping the service levels that we've come to expect and getting an additional discount on those labor hours. So that's what I'm putting forward for you all this evening.
I will continue to bellyache about the price, but I do share your assessment that they have been in what I have heard from you and what has been shared by others, quick and efficient responders when it comes to our technical issues. With that in mind, do they offer, and in the interests of locking a price in and knowing that this price is going to go up again in 3 years, is there an option for a longer contract?
No, it is a 1 or a 3-year contract.
Very well.
We do have an option to what they call sort of a sliding scale, which is we could pay slightly less of an increase next year, then the year after that, pay the increase in the year after that, pay a little bit more than the year before to take what we didn't pay in the first year, if that makes sense.
Looking at what our investments are returning, is that at all worthwhile? I mean, it's honestly, and when we're talking about this scale of money, I don't know that it's that big a deal.
Yeah, I said I appreciate them letting us know about that option. I said I would certainly consider it, but I don't know if it will make that big of a difference to us at the end of the day. The budget's gonna be what the budget's gonna be, as we're all gonna see in a few weeks. So, and either way, that's not something we have to necessarily decide this evening. But essentially, this evening is moving forward with their master services agreement for the 3 years and signing on to that gold package.
Any other questions for Rebecca before I make a motion? All right, in that case, I will make a motion to execute a 3-year master services agreement with Citium Solutions LLC for information technology support of all borough operations. Do I have a second? You don't require us to put in wording for a particular plan or package?
No, because the service agreement itself, if you saw in there, it's just, or I can't remember if the gold one's already checked off, but it's just a checkbox in the actual agreement itself. So we'll just check it off and.
I see. All I have is a spreadsheet. No check marks or anything. Well, in that case, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? In that case, the motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have this evening.
Got that past Ebenezer Scrooge here.
Oh, I get worse around Christmas. All right, the wind has been taken out of my sails as far as the president's report. The mayor was far more eloquent than I in discussing the tragic loss of those officers in York. Rebecca has already discussed our excellent Saturday in the park. So I am left with little else to say other than to repeat how pleased I am that we were able to get the contract passed for our police officers in a constructive manner, with all parties walking away happy enough, which is how you know you got a good compromise. So thank you again, all of you who were involved, Mike, Rebecca, our absent Mary Ann. And with that, I don't believe we have any need of an executive session. So I will entertain motions to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
There we go, I will second. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye. Aye. I will need an aye vote to adjourn. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
There we are. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, then I call this